is KPIX 5 Breaking News.
Breaking news, crews right now are battling a fast-moving, wind-driven wildfire. This is in Sonoma County. The Kincade fire began last night east of Geyserville near Kincade and Burn Mountain roads. CAL FIRE announced within the past hour the fire has spread to 10,000 acres and no containment at this point.
Scott McLean with CAL FIRE is on the phone with us. Scott, can you hear us? We're going to try to reach out to Scott McLean once again. He's from CAL FIRE. Scott, can you hear us right now on the air?
Yes, I can.
Scott, give us the latest containment numbers and what this firefight is looking like right now for CAL FIRE.
Well, as you can imagine, this wind is definitely pushing this fire since it's grown already to 10,000 acres in just a matter of a few short hours. You're looking at grass, brush, and some inaccessible terrain, making it very difficult to fight.
Give us a sense of how many communities and what the evacuation numbers are like right now as well.
Well, 10,000 acres in a matter of hours. It's a lot of evacuations that are taking place. It's a 0% containment. Several areas in that zone have been evacuated, which can affect thousands of folks. And this goes to show how you need to be prepared to evacuate at a moment's notice.
Talk about the fight, Scott. You mentioned some of the challenges. Obviously, it's dark out there as well. What's going on the ground right now?
That's a good point. You're talking about the dark, which makes it that much more difficult to fight. You really don't have any eyes in the sky, so to speak. We've had one aircraft or a couple up there monitoring the situation, but again, it's very difficult to fight since it's just coupled with inaccessibility in a lot of places, the wind blowing, like I said earlier, upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour in some areas. The type of fuel, the grass, the brush, which burns very quickly when it's pushed by these winds. It's definitely they have a fight on their hands.
Scott, we're taking a look at these pictures right now. We could see some of the flames and just the windy conditions there. We know that there are high winds in that area overnight as well as this morning. Give us a sense of what the plan is moving forward. When you have winds like this, are you going to be attacking the fire from the air as well, or does that have to wait till later on when the winds subside?
Brings up a good point. As far as, a rule of thumb is 30 miles per hour as far as wind speed. Is when the over and above is when the retardant drops they're just not they don't work. It dissipates that retardant, so it's not effective. The aircraft are available. That's not the situation. Again, it has to be where it's conducive to do so with those drops, making them effective. So the winds are supposed to start dying down in the course of the day as we speak today. So hopefully sooner than later we can get those aircraft involved.
Are there any natural fire lines there? Sometimes when there are roads in that area or something that tends to help the firefight?
Right. I mean, we're going to use whatever we can to make it stand, of course. In those areas, there's several roads here and there, and there's a lot of open ground as well. So it's definitely a thought-out process by the IC and those that have the divisions and branches that how they're going to make their stand and do it safely, of course.
Scott, 2 years ago, there were some devastating wildfires in the wine country area. Tell us what this morning, as CAL FIRE and other firefighters are trying to get people out, were a lot of people heeding those alerts and evacuating as soon as they were told to leave?
At certain points during the course of the night, I heard on the radio that instead of fighting the fire, everybody coupled together, law enforcement, fire department side, to join forces to get the folks out of harm's way. I did hear one instance where somebody basically stated that they weren't going to leave. And of course, now we have to keep an eye on that particular individual or whomever as we go in there and deal with the fire alone. So that kind of takes resources away from the situation.
Yeah, expand on that a bit, because we know whenever you go to a fire, your number one priority is limiting the loss of life. But then you do have those homeowners who want to stick around and try to defend their homes.
Right. I mean, well, we can go back to the wine country fire. 22 folks passed away on the Tubbs fire. We can go to the Camp Fire. 85 individuals perished on that particular fire. Last year, 100 individuals did perish overall directly due to wildfires in 2018. This is not a game. You need to leave. You need to think of your safety and your family's safety.
Scott, heading into Thursday morning, we knew that there would be dangerous conditions in terms of the weather, low humidity, high winds. What was CAL FIRE's plan heading into this morning? How many extra firefighters were put on alert as you guys went into this day?
CAL FIRE is divided into what we call units. There's 21 throughout the course of the state. Those areas that were going to be affected by the red flag warnings, for example, in Southern California as well as definitely Northern California, we upped our staffing in all of our units. We brought individuals back off duty, put them back on duty, staffed our reserves. We brought on more aircraft, believe it or not. We needed large air tankers as well, and positioned them throughout the state. We moved some of our equipment into those areas that were going to be affected as well. So again, this is not new. We do upstaff. We do get prepared ahead of time.
Yeah, it is kind of tough when you have fires all across the state right now, Northern and Southern California. We are looking at the flames and how this fire is just spreading across the ground right now. Like you said, the fire has burned 10,000 acres so far, zero containment at this point. What does the firefight look like once the sun breaks?
Well, we've always said that rule of thumb years ago is, fires would slow down during the course of the night. You have higher moisture in the air because of the lack of sun. It'd be cooler, it'd kind of tame the fires, but that's just not the case over the last several years. We're going to be looking at the same type of conditions, if not worse, due to the sun coming out and adding that heat factor to the situation. However, it is predicted, the winds are predicted to slow down throughout the course of later today, which will help us get a handle on this situation.
Scott, we're also hearing that there's a valley as well as the Russian River that separates this fire burning right now in Geyserville and separating some of the communities, the heavily populated communities in that area. Is that true? Is that what you're also hearing from the ground?
Not necessarily. I mean, you definitely have several different communities in that area. Of course, Healdsburg is one of our staging areas as placing our equipment ready to respond in those areas of need. So as resources come in, we do stage this equipment and have the ability to bring them into the fight where we can, when we can. As far as communities, all communities need to heed the evacuation warnings and orders.
Yeah, well, we talk about high fire danger many times, and that's even before a fire starts. There are other parts in the Bay Area where there is not a fire right now, but this is the danger. The video that we're looking at right now of this fire, this is the reality of it all. Talk about what homeowners can do right now in other parts to prevent, like maybe the defensible space around their home, things like that, especially those who don't live in the urban areas.
Well, frankly, right now, what they need to do is be prepared in case there is evacuation warning or an order. Defensible space, it's too late. This should have been done many months ago and maintained over the course of those months to this point. We don't want folks out there doing their defensible space right now and causing a spark. And this is what we see because of a spark, that could add to the fire situation in those areas. So make sure you're prepared. Make sure, your family is ready to go at a moment's notice, as well as your pets, and be able to gather everybody together.
Scott, we want to thank you for joining us here live on KPIX 5 so early in the morning to give us the latest on this fire that is burning in Geyserville. We'll check in with you later in the broadcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, now mandatory evacuations have been ordered for parts of Red Winery Road, Alexander Mountain Road, Highway 128, streets near River Road, and the River Rock Casino. And you can see the area in that blue zone on the map there. Evacuation centers are set up at Windsor High School and the Healdsburg Community Center.